all right. We'll change it after. We'll edit. This page is asking you, yes, leave page. I'll eventually get the hang of this blue jeans thing.
That's okay. It's only second time, right?
It says it's
Yeah.
live.
Now we are. Now we're live in the group. I see it.
Yay!
Yay.
All righty.
Cool.
Oh.
Oh, we got some people popping on.
That might be us.
So, Marianne, Connie. Hi, guys.
Oh, sweet.
You're not in the group. Log in. Oh, no, you can't. Oh, you know what?
Am I not in the group?
You're not in the group. I should have added you to the group. Sorry.
No, we're on. There's people watching. Hey, guys.
Yeah, but we need to add. Does anybody have easy access to the group to add John?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm friends with John, though.
Logged in into you, but it didn't show up. So I don't know if that's because you're logged in over there as well.
Oh, maybe.
We hopped on a little early, guys, so we could figure out some of this stuff.
Technical difficulties
All right.
right now.
Let me see if I can add him. I'm going to go real quick. I should be able to do it on my phone.
Yep.
Oh, I always get confused on where I got to go. I have to go through a million
Hi, Kelly.
processes to get there.
Is Charlotte sleeping, Amanda? Or is she just chilling?
She's sleeping, I think, but I hesitate to put her down because she's like,
Okay, honey, you're in.
she knows.
Linda, you have fans already.
I what?
You have some fans.
I do. No.
My friend Kelly said Linda cracks me up. Now John's in there.
Oh, you know what?
Awesome.
Should we
Awesome.
get started then?
Let's do this.
Is it? Yeah, because mine says 7:55, but if you guys say 8, then
No, mine says 8.
Yeah.
And this is the event.
yeah.
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
So I will
Hi.
take a mute.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm Linda, and on behalf of Natalie, Allison, and Amanda, we're excited to welcome you and be with you here tonight on Women with Purpose. We created this group for women to empower other women. This is your forum, and we all share our collective journey, to a healthy and fulfilling lifestyle. We also wanted to share with you how coaching has been a vehicle for change in our lives, how it's so much more than healthy nutrition and workouts, and how personal growth and development and a positive mindset has created a desire to serve others and is helping us and those we serve to create a life of intentional growth, personal freedom, and limitless potential. So tonight we're going to share hope, confidence, family, legacy, freedom, intention, gratitude, and so much more. And I'll start by sharing about intention and gratitude. I'm on a mission to grow, to be the best version of myself that I can be, and the woman of God that I was created to be. I know from my own personal experience that staying the course, keeping my heart filled with gratitude, seeing obstacles and challenges as an opportunity for personal growth, and being intentional about my daily actions is key to keeping a positive attitude, a healthy mindset, and not only identifying my purpose and mission, but moving towards it. Today, I'm living a life and a love story that I could have only dreamed of. I'm married to my beloved John, who's truly a gift from God. I'm in love with the Lord, and I have a strong faith. I don't draw breath without him, and I'm healthier and stronger than I've ever been, more confident in my skin, and energized with the strength and purpose to use the gifts and talents that I've been given to make a difference in the lives of others. It's a daily personal growth that's helped me to make this shift, to identifying my purpose and mission, given me clarity on who I can serve best through my own life experience, and fueled my passion, giving me the freedom to trust, let go of my fears, and get out of my own way. It's that community that we have through coaching that has really brought so much of this into my life. I've heard it said that you have to know yourself to grow yourself. And getting to know myself hasn't always been easy, nor has accepting my past, embracing my shortcomings, and sharing of myself. That's probably been one of the hardest things for me. But who cares if it's not easy? When I approach things with intention, it helps me make a shift in my thinking. And that for me is what's really important. There was a time in my life that I lived in constant fear and anxiety. I was filled with insecurity, I lacked self-confidence, and having been in an abusive marriage, I learned to stuff my feelings with food and built a protective wall around my body like a suit of armor. After a brush with death, divorce, and losing my mom and dad, I've been reminded over and over how precious life is. My beloved John is my greatest blessing, and I know that without a doubt, I want to live whatever time that we have to the fullest. And that means being the healthiest that I can be. And that takes intention. I have to make choices every single day to be the best version of me in mind, body, and spirit. And that means, like last night, I didn't want to get up off the couch to go and do my workout, but off I did. It wasn't about how I felt. It was about just doing what I knew I needed to do. That was a little piece of intention, but it certainly was something that I had to do. And because I am living with purpose and intention, I did it. I got up and I went and did what I needed to do. We all grow and experience things, but for a long time, I experienced a lot of accidental growth. Last night was intentional growth. It wasn't accidental. I made a choice. The changes I've made over the past few years to live a healthier lifestyle, become more fit and flexible, are a direct result of a decision, a commitment, hard work, consistency, and that's not my best suit, but I try every single day, and getting back on track when I fall off. It's been a shift in a mindset and finding the balance that works for me and my beloved and that fits our foodie lifestyle. I'm a home cook. I'm a foodie. I'm Italian. I am all about love and abbondanza. And so I've had to make that work. Again, intention, making choices in our health and in our nutrition. I don't pretend to have all the answers because I don't. The life I'm living today didn't make all the baggage of the past go away on its own, and it certainly hasn't made the weight magically fall off. I don't need to go into any of that. If you want to see about my story, you can just go into the page. But it's still amazing to me that the best part of my journey hasn't been the physical transformation that I do continue to experience, but it's the rejuvenation of my mind, my body, my soul, all of those things coming together. And every day through personal development, books, listening, reading personal growth books, audibles, of course, the Bible, and being present in the moment, I inch closer to the woman that I was created to be. Trust me, I have a very long way to go. The grace for me is that I'm making a positive difference in my life and the lives of others every day. Through this platform, it has given me that grace, and I'm grateful to be living my purpose and my mission. I'm grateful to have intentional personal growth, and I am grateful to be able to find joy in the journey every step of the way. Thank you. And who's next?
All right, guys, I'm next. Thank you, Linda.
You're
So I'm
welcome,
Allison.
Mrs. Allison.
So I'm Allison, and I am here to talk about a legacy. Now, I realize that's a pretty big word for a lot of people and probably kind of morbid. And until recently, it actually turned me off and made me uncomfortable when people would talk about it. Because the first thing that would come to my mind would be like, well, who am I to have a legacy? That's, like I said, it's a heavy word. But after I had my first child, my mind would constantly lead me back to, but what will I leave my family with? So after working as an occupational therapist long enough, I saw some really sick, treating people who are really sick and dying. Again, not to be morbid, but when you're around people like that, you kind of unfortunately see some sad stories play out in families. Parents who don't get along with their kids or spouses, kids who don't get along with their siblings, legacies that are really nothing but a sense of lack, bitterness about life, dreams left untouched, and loneliness. So kind of seeing that, I was determined to make mine different. And the answer, at least for me, wasn't really how much money there was in an inheritance or a trust fund, but the life that I generated for my family. The life I raised them in, the values I taught them, and the example that I lived for them. So in order to leave the legacy that I wanted, I knew that I had to get to work. The path that I was currently on was not meeting up anywhere near where I wanted my life to go. I needed that freedom that everybody talks so much about, but very few are willing to actually do the amount of work needed to grasp it. And, it's not like it's just like I made a quick split decision and, from that moment on, I've been like, full speed ahead. It's still a decision, kind of like Linda was saying, it's still a decision that I have to make every single day. So, it's not something, it's still not an easy thing, even though you decide what you want to do. It's not easy to do it every day. But so that freedom to spend time present with my family whenever and however I wanted, that's something I really wanted. Not only my time, but my husband's as well. And freedom of money, freedom of finances, to be able to spend that time together as a family, to not have to always be, out going to work in order to make those finances. Whether or not we like to admit it, money gives us certain freedoms in life that you wouldn't otherwise be able to have. The ability to not only be together, but to travel and to create memories together. I always think of, money as, like I said, there are things you can do with money you can't do without it. Like I said, freedom to express myself, find meaning and use and purpose in the world, and to fulfill my gifts that I feel I have. I used to think that I was being greedy to want all of this, but now I see that it was put on my heart for a reason, and something is put on everybody's heart for a reason. We don't desire things that don't exist or that aren't able to happen. So me living my very best possible life, that allows others to do the same. And it leaves an example of my physical, mental, emotional wellness for my children and my spouse to follow as well. I never thought of myself as a business owner, and I really never wanted to run one. It wasn't, business in school. That was not my thing. I was always into the sciences and health. But the more that I learned about this business, the more I saw it for what it was or what it could be, which was a vehicle to create that life and that legacy that I wanted so badly, but I really didn't know how to get it with my current situation. It was and is the answer to all that I desire, keeping myself and my family healthy, achieving that freedom of time and money while still feeling like I'm fulfilling my purpose and making a difference in my little corner of the world, and creating that legacy for my children and beyond. So none of that would be possible without this platform. So that's kind of my 2 cents. I believe Amanda is going to be chatting with you next.
I am. Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Linda. I just connect so much with everything that you guys are saying. I just love hearing your perspective, and I can just relate to it so much. And for me, the 2 things that, well, of course, we're all using this as a platform to kind of live out our purpose, right? And follow our passions. And for me, that's something I really want to talk about is my passion. And the 2 kind of topics that I have are hope and confidence. And those are kind of 2 things that this platform has given me along my journey. And, for me, a big passion of mine has always been dance and ballet. And that's kind of how I defined myself for a long time. When I left that, I went into the corporate world. I left kind of my dance career behind when I could have, chosen the professional route, so it was a very hard decision for me, and I felt like a piece of me was lost when I stopped doing that. And so as a result, my health kind of went down, and my overall mindset, I was more depressed, and it was like not something that happens overnight, right? But over time, you realize there's something missing. There's something I wasn't being my best self. And so that's what drew me into coaching was the, when I saw my coach posting about her life and realizing that, wow, like there's this outlet where I can find that joy again in my life. And that has really been what this platform has given me. So it started with, my health and wanting to get back into dance. That was my huge goal, and I didn't know if it would be possible. I doubted myself. I hadn't worked out in a really long time. I was sitting at a desk all day, and I just didn't know what was possible. I didn't really believe in myself, and this platform and this community has just given that to me. It's given me the kind of the okay to go out there and just go for it. And so that's kind of the backstory as to how I got into this. But then I realized, you know what, I could help other people do this too. I could help them follow their passions or find their passions. And so that's kind of what keeps me going in terms of helping others, through this platform is what it's given to me. And so I guess, on the business side, on the financial side, there is a lot of freedom and flexibility to be had. And so when I had my son, that really kind of drove me to jumping into the business side and learning a little bit more about the actual business. And as I started to jump in, things were going really well. I had so much momentum and I was just full of joy. And then I actually had a really scary situation. So I ended up becoming diagnosed with a brain tumor after a horrible seizure that I had. And that whole experience just forced me to just open my eyes and realize how lucky we are just to be alive. And so I had to rethink my purpose. So I had a son, I had a family. I had to think about what was truly important to me. And that, like these women are talking about, is the freedom and flexibility. And, and so I guess my journey has changed over time. So it, from confidence and, from developing that, I realized that there was so much more to life. So having that confidence and then going for it and realizing that it's okay to go for your dreams. And, what else do I want to say? So I guess the tumor just kind of forced me to rethink everything and just be grateful and blessed for, the life that we have and being able to help others. And this is the platform that I want to use to keep going and keep doing that and finding my tribe and people that, that want to work with me and do the same thing. So I don't want to go too long. I wasn't keeping track of time. So I'll pass it over to Natalie.
Hey guys, truly inspired tonight to share with you guys and be part of this movement with you. And having been able to collaborate with these women tonight was one of the things that inspired me even more to share why I got into this to this business of becoming a coach in the first place. And in order for me to be able to explain that and for you to really get a glimpse into why I got into what I do now, I have to talk about my family because they are my ultimate purpose. And so I wanted to share with you guys a little bit of my backstory, just like I did this past week, a little bit deeper, and what brought me here in the first place. Because, like everyone else that's already talked, we all have our backstories. We have most of us have our professions. We've gone to school, our degrees, and we were on a path that supposedly was going to be our career until we retired. So what brought us here in the first place? And each of us has a different story that has brought us here. And for me, it was my family. And so for me, like growing up, from the moment I became a mother, I knew I wanted to be present in my children's lives. And growing up, I had two very hardworking parents, one of which who worked multiple jobs, all shifts, and my mother who worked full time and cared for us almost as a single parent with 3 children. My parents wanted the best for us while we grew up, especially being immigrants who came to the U.S. with nothing. So it was understandable why they worked as hard as they did and why we as their children almost never saw them. But through that life experience, it created one of the biggest lessons I have learned through them, which was the fact that I wanted to be close with my children even when I was working hard. I'm grateful for my parents' hard work ethic, which I've been able to apply to this platform of empowering women to change their lives every single day. I am most grateful, though, to have a platform that allows me to not have to choose between my career or my family. And that's pretty much what I had to do pretty much since I graduated through my military career and as a nurse. It has allowed me to put my family first while providing for them. My family, especially my children, have become my daily compass to live out my life's purpose as a mom, wife, entrepreneur, and life coach. Although it may seem to many counterintuitive to work from home with my children running around, maybe even distracting me at times, they are the reason why I wake up at the crack of dawn to help more women with their health and life goals. Because as they crawl in between my legs, laugh and giggle in the background, they give me more focus than ever to accomplish more than I ever did working as an employer for someone else, and who couldn't accommodate my family needs and schedule. What started as a desire to just get healthy and lose weight has become a platform where I have been able to build a team of women living with purpose and living out their greatest dreams through empowerment, personal development, and community support. And as you heard from all of the three women tonight, as Linda talked about living life with intention and her story and what she has gone through, and as Allison shared about her desire to leave a legacy and for her family and live a life of freedom now, not when she retires, but to live that freedom now. And as Amanda talked about hope and confidence and being able to build those things through her life experiences, because honestly, it hasn't been easy for her. You know, all of us has a different story, but we have all been brought to this opportunity for one reason or another. And that's why we came here tonight, to share with you guys our stories before we even talk about the opportunity that we want to share with you. Because before we talk about the opportunity, it doesn't really matter what it is. What matters is why we come here in the first place, because that's ultimately why we're still here, most of us, after 2 to 3 years of building this business, because we had a greater reason, a stronger purpose. And that's ultimately what moves most of us to achieve our greatest goals, our scariest goals. And it's one of the reasons why we wanted to start off this webinar or this live event with Women with Purpose, because that is what is our driving force every single day to not just create a platform for ourselves and for those women that we serve, but for our families. So I want to ask you guys one question before we end it tonight. So what now? You know, we all invited you, each of us, to this event for a reason. We either saw potential in you, maybe we've been talking to you for a while, or maybe we just met you, but we just saw something in you through your posts or through your personal life, or maybe we've been friends for a while and we saw that maybe this opportunity can really bless your life. So we want to invite you tonight, and between now and our next live event, is to talk with that person who has invited you to this event tonight. And there's a reason why we've invited you here. And so we want to be able to take the opportunity to be able to share with you specifically how this opportunity can bless your life. Every person is different. Every story is different. Every life circumstance is different. And so it's going to look different. But we know that through this opportunity, you're going to be able to live out that purpose that's meant for you, because each and every single one of us has a God-given purpose, and that I truly believe we have been given, and we have yet to tap into it, to that potential. And so we want to be able to help you do that through this opportunity that we've been given as coaches in the last couple years, and be able to pay it forward so that you can also bless your family's life. So we're so grateful that you have joined us tonight. And so we want to be able to open this forum now for you to ask us any question you may have. We have about 5 to 8 minutes, I guess, or a little bit longer, depending on how many questions we get, to be able to answer anything you have, any questions you have in regards to coaching, and or even personally our personal stories of what we shared tonight. So we're gonna open up the forum here. If you guys want to ask us anything, we are an open book, and we wanted to be able to give you the opportunity to share, what you would like to share with us.
Thank you, Natalie.
Yeah, thanks. I know there's a delay too, so.
Yeah, I know. So I'm trying to refresh the comments here. Yeah, I see like some ladies, jumped on here, so that's good. I see Lisette, Ruthie, hey ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you guys have anything else like that popped into your heads that you wanted to share, I guess, before we end?
Yeah, well, we have the delay. John just said that we just now finished just now, so
Oh, wow,
there is
okay.
still a little bit of time, but
Okay.
Oh wow. That's like a couple minute delay.
I know it is. I do want to share something.
Okay.
I want to share what an absolute blessing this community is, and what a joy it is to collaborate with you ladies. This has been truly a gift, and it speaks to the community and the goodness that is there, and that you just don't find. I was talking to a friend earlier, and she was saying the same thing about this community. It's so different than so many other places and things out there. There's just something incredibly special about this culture, and I just am so grateful to be a part of it.
Absolutely. I think it definitely pushes us to become better, and sometimes I know that through my journey, it's kind of not forced me, I guess empowered me, right, to do things that I don't necessarily want to do sometimes, but that's like what makes us better. So I'm thankful for that. It's kind of like that person, like that best friend that tells you the things that you don't really want to hear, but you kind of need to hear them. It's all for the best. So I guess that's like one reason why, I love like the coaching network, because we're just surrounded by all these women who have stepped into these leader roles, and we're learning about ourselves, becoming leaders and becoming our best selves, and just being able to empower one another and push one another in a way that is, that's encouraging and empowering, and not, in a mean way.
I see a comment from Lizette. She said, "So at what moment did it click?"
So what moment did it click? Oh, okay. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Natalie.
Okay. That's kind of I guess they call that an aha moment, but when did it click? For me personally, I think this year is when it's clicked. I've been a coach now officially since 2015. March of 2015, and it wasn't until this year, so almost 2 years later, since I joined and became a coach, that I just saw the full potential. Like at first, the only thing I saw was like workouts and nutrition, and I'm like, that was it. Like I thought it was only the one thing I can do. But this past year, as I started to develop myself, and I wanted to serve with greater heart, like not wanting anything back from anybody. I remember I did this free group for 2 weeks for these women that were just trying to improve their life. And so we started with morning rituals is what the group was all about. And after those 2 weeks, like I literally feel like my life transformed, and my business transformed, and my mentality around this business transformed, because I realized that it's not about health and fitness only. It's about the greater picture. And that's when I was like, this is it. This is the way we're going to help more women with their life goals. Not that just their health, but with their family, with their finances, with their with their spirituality, with all those things that encompass the woman. And that's when for me it clicked. I'm like, I really want to dig in deeper with this. And that's when it kind of just blew up for me in this last year because of that reason. Because I started to realize there was a greater potential, there was a greater picture that I wasn't seeing before.
That was perfectly said, Natalie.
Yeah,
I
that
think we all
was.
kind of have to get to that point where you're like, okay, it's not just about me and like
Kate,
being healthy. That's what separates certain people from others.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Kate said, how have you gotten through those times where you fell off the healthy wagon and still maintained being a coach? I will say that I have fallen off the healthy wagon many times. And I think like just being real and open and honest about it, because just because you're a coach doesn't mean that, you know, you're not a real person and that you don't struggle with working out and nutrition, because honestly, I do struggle with working out and nutrition. I don't really like working out, and I mean, I love ice cream and chocolate
I'm
and
with ya.
cookies, and you know what I mean? But I realize that in order, you know, I feel my best, I look my best, I come to others as my best person when I have, you know, worked out and have been eating healthy, and just like makes me feel like a better person overall. So, but you know, when you fall off, you just kind of, you're open, honest with it and get back on. You know, it happens to everybody, you know, coaches aren't immune to that just because it's our job.
Yeah, I think looking at the bigger picture, right? Because it's a journey, and that's like
Oh,
what
yeah.
Linda stands for a lot, you know, joy in the journey, right? Realizing that it's a journey that, like, you know, through Allison and I and Natalie, you know, having children, you know, our bodies change and they, you know, we put on pounds and that's just life. And so we need to show people that what's possible. We need to show people that they can push through, and that, hey, gain a couple of pounds is not the end of the world. Like, it doesn't mean you can't coach. Like, I remember being so fearful when I became pregnant. I thought, oh my gosh, my business is going down the tubes because I'm just going to get bigger and bigger, and who's going to want to, you know, and that's when the doubt and the fear and all that stuff. But I have to say, the minute, and going back to when it clicked for me, letting go of the doubt and the fear, leaving that behind, because you have a greater purpose, because you're doing this for a reason, and connecting to that reason as to why you're doing this in the first place, and keeping that in the forefront. So yeah.
I totally agree with that. And, you know, I fall off all the time. And I say it, but because it's life, it's not a diet. And for me anyway, it's a lifestyle. I've lived all those diets before. I've done all the yo-yoing back and forth, and they don't work. The difference for me has been the mindset. And sometimes I fall off, you know, but I got to get myself, you know, back into that good train of thought so that I know that, okay, I got to do what I got to do. You know, I think a lot of times you see the highlight reel because we put, you know, all these posts out there. We're working out, we're doing this, we're doing that. And I know that I do share when I'm not, but probably not as often as I should, because I am often on all the time, because it is life. But the one thing that makes me stay the course is the greater purpose, because I know that this platform for me holds me accountable. It's the women that I work with, the women that are in my challenge group. It's the women that, you know, that are in my heart, that, you know, that I've grown to love, and who I want to see achieve their goals. They help me maintain being a coach and doing the things that I need to do to get back on track so that I can help them, and they help me.
Exactly.
Really put, Linda.
So I saw another question. I think this will be our last one. It says, at what moment did it become a drive and you surrendered to what your purpose is? I struggle with the pattern and conditioning in my life, and it's truly debilitating. So when did it become a drive and you surrendered to your purpose? That's a hard
That's
question.
hard. I feel like I still do that every day. Like I feel like it's like a daily thing for me. Like I was saying before, like making a decision every day to continue and to, keep doing it. Just because, you feel like it's your purpose doesn't mean that it's all of a sudden easy. So for me anyway, I feel like, the drive and surrendering to that is a daily decision that I make. I don't know if you guys feel any differently or
I agree. I think it's a daily thing, but I think where it clicked and that aha moment where it turned for me is really personal development. It's when I really started getting into doing and being committed to personal development. It helped me focus when I needed to focus because life and all those other things would kind of get in the way. And it helped me find my purpose. And once you have your purpose, you might falter, but you always come back.
Yeah. I think I mentioned a little bit about my drive. Obviously, my family is my drive. So like that never like changes, but to surrender to your purpose. Because I think sometimes we have that aha moment. We're like, wow, this is my purpose. But like you mentioned, it's not easy. It's not an easy decision because you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to put your life out there, and it's not easy to do that. But at the same time, it's almost like you're being selfless doing that because you know that if you share that, you're helping someone else who may be struggling with those situations. So, for in my case, a week ago, I think it was a little bit over a week ago, I shared something very, very vulnerable for me in my past. And it's been on my mind to share for over 2 years. And for some reason, it was pulling at my heartstrings that week. And it goes back to my purpose of wanting to inspire and change women's lives. And I knew I was like, if I really want to inspire a woman's life, like there's women out there who are suffering through who knows what in their personal lives, and they haven't been able to let go yet. And if I can share a piece of that, a piece of hope for them, that drove me to be able to share something so vulnerable, so hard to share. And for me, that's my drive every day. And there are days when I don't want to wake up early, and there's days when I don't want to work, right? We call it work, but it's like it's not really work. But I'm reminded that I was put here for a purpose. And it's going back to that again, like once you figure that out, it's like, God gives me that strength that I need every single day to push through, even when it's hard. Getting out of my comfort zone when it's over my head. For me, like my mission that I'm on this next year is over my head, but I knew that he placed it in my heart for a reason. And so I'm just an instrument in his hands. And for me, that's helped me to get through my struggles and my imperfections and for my fears, because I still have many, many fears, but I hold on, with dear life to God and the ability for him to help me to accomplish that purpose. But I think that was the last question. So we're gonna finish out our webinar here. And like I mentioned before, I welcome each and every single one of you who have jumped on here or who are watching the recording to reach out to each of us, those that have added you into the group, and open another conversation about this opportunity and be able to ask us any questions that you have further beyond this. And trust me, we are so open and so ready to share this and be able to talk to you about this opportunity even in a greater, deeper level. And so we want to help you do that and be able to change your life. So we look forward to helping you beyond this. And this group is going to be open, guys, for, I don't know, it's gonna be lifetime, I guess.
Forever.
And we'll be jumping on here. We'll be jumping on here once a month live. And we'll be announcing when that will be. Each time is going to be a different topic. And so we're so excited to be able to have you here on this journey with us. And if it's not the right time for you, it's not the right time. But we hope that at some point you get inspired and moved and eventually have the courage to use this platform as what it was meant for, is to change more lives. So we hope you guys have an amazing night, and we look forward to blessing you throughout the next year.
Bye,
Good
guys.
night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Recording has started. Recording should be off now.